Hello. Good morning. Happy winning Wednesday, everyone. All right. So, today we're going to talk a little bit about social constructs, where that comes from, our programming as far as you know, how it became our belief system. So, if you read my Monday email, we talked a little bit about things that we believe are true. It's actually comes from like stories we've been told. So when we um, when we are growing up, and it's typically like you have your primary like imprint years between the ages of 0 to 7, but from a young age, we're essentially taking everything in that we get from our caretakers, from our teachers, from our peers. Like, we're taking all this information in as truth. What's really interesting is between those ages of 0 to 7 is we're in like a trance-like state. We're in what we call theta wave state. So with theta and with being in a trance-like state, that is where all of that's your subconscious basically taking in all the information and storing it. So we're storing all this information, um, that essentially becomes a filter on how we view the world. It's like putting a prescription on our glasses, that we can only see things that prescription allows us to see. Like, you take the glasses off, things are fuzzy over here. You put the glasses on, they're clear, but it's only allowing you to see what the prescription allows you to see, if that makes sense. So if we are having a lot of messaging in the household about, things are hard, money's hard, blah blah blah, like, we essentially create this program, like a computer program, or a belief, or a limiting belief around that messaging. So we then, putting that prescription on, putting that filter on, we are only seeing things through, like, the world is hard, like money's hard. It's we have to, like, what are some of your guys messagings that you're starting to realize that you heard a lot growing up, especially through those ages? Like, were you told that money doesn't grow on trees? Were you told that you have to work hard for the money? That maybe the man is the one that brings home the bacon? Or were you told that more money, more problems? Were you told that having money, like, is greedy? Or that people that have money are bad, and do evil things to get that money? Like, so these are, and money is just an example. This can be on anything. This could be on, like, how the world works. This could be relationships. It could be, like, that the woman is supposed to stay in the kitchen, or things like that, right? Like, raise the kids. So even if they weren't outwardly said, like, if they weren't fully expressed to you with words, you are still taking in all of this information, through feeling, through sense, through taste, through smell. Like, all of that stuff is taken into your subconscious, regardless of how it comes in. But again, it's being taken in as truth. It's basically molding you into the person that you will ultimately become. So, and for some parents, like, this is really scary, because you think about, like, what have I said that might have molded my child, and what have I done, and how might I have limited them, or protected them too much, or whatever. Like, these thoughts start to run through your head, like I said, especially as parents. But I want you to know, like, no matter what, like we could be the most perfect parents on in the world and say all the right things, and we will still find a way to fuck up our kids. So like, don't put that pressure on yourself, because yes, there are things that I may have made mistakes on, with raising my kids, and may have said in anger, or have said that now looking back, like, of course hindsight's 2020. Like, you don't know what you don't know in that moment. And also, we can't be responsible for somebody else's healing. Like, we're our own healers. We have to go through certain experiences. If you want to get like really into like quantum theory and contracts and life experiences, and like how we came into this earth, like, we're meant to have a certain experience. Most healers, most coaches, most people that have grown themselves into like inspirational speakers and all that, like, they had a certain experience in their life that they had to go through in order to experience that, so that they would be able to help other people. So think about that, like, chew on that for a minute. It's not you did anything wrong, but maybe you were the necessary part for your, somebody else's spiritual journeys, for them to learn something, to grow from something, so that they're able to go out in the world and help someone. So I just wanted to preface that, like, don't put that bad, like, juju or anything like that. Don't put the mistakes as like bringing you down or anything. And don't put that all on you, because again, we all have to be our own healers. And as you start to do this work too, like, as you start to awaken, and a lot of people are awakening right now, we're becoming more conscious of things. I'd say like mental health and bettering yourself and self-development, like, that's really grown a lot in the past, like, I'd say probably 5-10 years. So we're on an upward trajectory here. Like, we are starting to really look at healing ourselves and bettering ourselves. And a lot of people are getting in on that bandwagon. So I can only see that things are going to get better from here, right? Like, so as you start to do this work on yourself and start to really grasp the concepts, and look at your belief systems, and you know, maybe changing the messaging on that. As you change your messaging, you show up in a different way. You are a different person. You start to um, word things in a different way, and your kids pick up on that. Like, you don't have to have, even your spouse, like, you don't have to have somebody else go through a program, or awaken themselves or work on themselves, in order for them to reap the benefits of you showing up differently, you being a better parent. And I'm sorry, I'm totally like getting off on a tangent here, because we're talking about social constructs, but I just wanted to preface this, because we can always think about all the things that we've done, what we would consider wrong, or mistakes that we've made, and we can beat ourselves up all day about that. But that's not. Excuse you, sir. My cat is walking all over my board. But like, we by us doing the work, we're creating a ripple effect into the world. So you'll start to notice, especially as you're doing this work, that it will ripple off to other people, and they will start to change. They will start to be more open. Like, you're essentially like a way shower, right? So as you raise your vibration, raise your elevation and your frequency, they start to raise theirs. It's like a resonance effect. And maybe that's something that we can talk about on another day, is resonance. But I just wanted to preface that all so that you're aware. Like you can't be perfect. Nobody can be perfect. Things happen, and things happen for a reason. And when you start to change your messaging around that, it's less pressure on you. So, um, anyways, as we're like bombarded as kids from a young age, messaging about like what's good and what's bad, what's right, what's wrong, what's easy and what's hard, or um, like even the word busy, like the word busy is a social construct. So when I say social construct, I want you to basically think about this. Like, if these ideas are created and reinforced by our cultures and our families and our past experiences and like the community around us, like they're not inherent truths. Like, this is no written in stone, like across the board. Every single country is going to think that this specific thing is absolutely good, absolutely bad, or whatever. So, if it's not written in stone, if it's not an inherent truth, like in the court of law, like it is, people could have differing opinions about it, or interpretations, or judgments, or, perspectives that, then it's not a truth. Like, it's not, it's basically something that we've adopted on our own. It's a social construct, like based on our surroundings, our environment, what we were brought up to believe is that thing, like that, what is good, what is bad. Like emotional intelligence, if you've ever done Shirzad's program, like he has this story about a man that has like this stallion that was winning all the races, and like all of his community members were like congratulating him, saying, like what a good job he's doing with the stallion. And then the stallion gets um, stolen. Somebody comes and steals the stallion, and so then the community comes up to the farmer, and he's like, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And all he says is like, what is good and what is bad? Because you don't know. So then eventually, like, the stallion comes back, and it I guess grabbed all these other like mares and stallions too, and brought them back to the farm. And then it returns like this whole host of like horses to the farmer. And then the community members are like, oh, how lucky you are, like you have all these stallions now. It's so lucky that they, your stallion came back and brought you more. And again, the farmer's like, what is good and what is bad? Like, we don't know how this is going to play out. We don't know if this bad decision that we're making is ultimately for our greater purpose. It's going to end up in a better way, that if we're struggling with something right now, that's actually a learning experience. That's how we're going to be able to grow from it. We don't know what that outcome is going to be, because we're not all psychic, right? Like, there are some psychics out there, but like we don't know the outcome of something before it actually presents itself. And so that's to say, is like something that we might perceive as really bad or right or wrong, or hard, like actually is an opportunity to grow you. Like, this is something that may actually end up being for your best interest, for your greater good. Like, you had to go through this thing in order to be the person that you are today. And again, like, even me, like I had to go through some shit, like in order to find my calling, in order to figure out how and and why I really wanted to help people, but in a different way from healthcare, right? So, um me personally, I was having panic attacks at work. I was having severe anxiety. I developed a stutter as an adult. Like, I just didn't have a voice. I stayed in the background. I had no confidence. Like, those were the things that really were my driving force to look outside of Western medicine. Those were my driving force to look at, maybe something there's deeper going on. And because I did that work on myself, because I went deep with myself and I saw the results that I was able to get from it, and saw how I was able to show up as a different person, that was my catalyst. That was how I was able to then start to do this for other people. So, you know, take good, take bad. Again, what's considered good in one culture might be bad in another. What your family deemed right might be completely different from what your friends believe. So even though something seemingly objective as like easy and hard, it's a matter of perception. Like what one person finds challenging, another finds effortless. And this is all based on their messaging. So again, these constructs, they are what shape our reality. They place filters. They're how we see the world. They influence our choices, our behaviors, our emotions, our actions. So if we believe something is really hard, we're more likely to approach it with resistance and struggle. If we believe something's wrong, we might feel shame or guilt. So this is something that we just recently went over in my Visionary U class with my group teaching. Is we talked about like what our energy is behind things, like what our words are behind things. Like if we are perceiving something in a certain way, we can choose how we say it, how we think about it. Like basically we're taking something from a very a structured approach by, when I'm thinking this, this is what I end up feeling. When I feel this, this is what I end up doing. So it's really taking it down into almost like an analytical, looking at your thought process, your mind, and how you're doing this, and then you're able to change a certain aspect of it so that you can think about it in a different way. You show up in a different way. Your energy is different behind it. Uh, it's essentially challenging all of our beliefs, and this is, it's work. Yeah, it is work, because you're essentially unraveling everything you thought to be true. You're unlearning everything that you learned from a young age for however many years you've been on this planet, right? Like for me, 41 years, like I had to undo the things that I thought were true in order to start believing a different thing. But again, it's daily practice. How do I want to show up today? How do I want my energy to be different around something? How do I want to think about this? What's a better way to think about this? So when we start to question the constructs and we challenge the idea that everything doesn't have to be a struggle, like there's no one right way to do things, or something is not, like this one thing is not inherently bad, it doesn't mean something about you. Like if we realized that much of how we view things is just a matter of perspective, if we choose to see the challenges as opportunities for growth or mistakes as learning experiences, and our journey as an unfolding adventure, like the truth is we have that power. We have the power to think a different way, to choose a different thought, choose a different energy behind it. Like we get to redefine those constructs for ourselves. We choose to see the world through a different lens, and we can choose to see things that empower us and inspires us, allows us to create a more fulfilling reality. And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be wrong. It doesn't have to be bad. It's just all in the way that you look at things. So, um, really, I'm just wanting you to, like, I invite you to question everything. Question, like, is this actually true? Or is this just a thought that I have? Is this just a belief that was placed upon me when I was younger? So, like a lot of people are very worried about the economy and worried about like the state of things right now. So, is that is it true that we're stuck in this state of worry? Is it true that the economy is actually really going to go in the dumps? Like, is it true that we can know exactly how things are going to pan out, or is it just a thought? Is this something that we're just seeing on the news, that we're being fed? Like, challenge it. Challenge all of the limitations that you've been accepting. Start to rewrite your own narrative. And when you start to look at, narratives that embrace like possibility, joy, like options, inherent, like the inherent beauty of your unique perspective, and that we're all different yet the same, right? So think about some of these things. Think about these things going forward, and you'll be able to really see the world in a different way. So I hope that's helpful. I did ramble a little bit here. We talked about a lot of things, and I'm always open for more conversation on this. So if any of these things like maybe came up a little bit weird for you, like you're not really fully understanding, or if there's anything that like you want to talk more about, like it actually tickles your fancy, like talking about this kind of stuff, or it's fun for you, I always enjoy the conversation. So message me, get at me. The healing day is coming up on, I believe I put it on the 12th. Yes, the 12th, because I'm doing my kid's birthday party on the 13th. So on the 12th at 4 p.m. Central Time, I'm doing another free healing day. I have an event for it, so I will post it in the comments below. It's free for everybody to show up. It's all online by Zoom, and it's going to be an activation to really put you again into a actually, you know what? I might do a down regulation because there's a lot of anxiety right now. So maybe it's breath work, essentially. So if you've been curious about breath work, you haven't tried it yet, this is a easy, free way to experience it. And again, it's all online by Zoom. So I encourage you guys to drop in for that, and I hope to see you all there. And have an amazing rest of the week, everyone. I love you all. Thank you for being in my community. Have an amazing day.